Basically, in the 70s, there were 3 reasons for you to be on TV as a child. 1, you were getting a wish granted by a pedophile. It was a different time. We didn't know. There were absolutely 0 clues. Or you were at home in bed in an advert having your disease cured by Lucozade. That's how we conquered polio. Or 3rd, you appeared in one of these PSAs, public service announcements, and they were frightening as fuck back in the 70s, man. My favourite was the kids. They were always Cockney children, because they were nearest, I expect. And they would go and get into trouble and inevitably die. The one I liked was the kids were going, kicking around a football. Let's go play by the Oxbow Lake where people abandon shopping trolleys. Yay! And so they go off to this little lake and play by the edge. And in the background, there was the spirit of dark and lonely water, who was like a monk, but you couldn't see his face. Frightened as fuck. And the kids would be like, yeah, let's go near the edge. And the guy would be in the back going, that's right, children. Step towards the water. Let me play with you forever and ever. Frightening. I see some confused faces out there. Are we all familiar with Oxbow Lakes? Some of you are, some of you aren't. I'll explain. An Oxbow Lake is a geological feature. We used to have a thing in this country called rivers. All right? Think of them as wet roads. And they would go round the country like that, wending their way. But occasionally, for no reason whatsoever, at all, against all laws of geology, the river would just go, fuck that, and take a shortcut and keep going, abandoning this little crescent, this little lake, this Oxbow Lake, to just sit there, abandoned and bitter, growing stagnant, and that lake would eventually uproot, go out and hunt children and kill them. Everywhere, they were all over the place. You could be in the town centre, learning your Green Cross code, and look left, look right, listen. Is it humid out here, or is it me? Telltale quack of a duck, boom, Oxbow Lake. You're drowned in the middle of the high street like a fucking dweeb. Thankfully, the parents' groups hunted them down to extinction. Do you know how hard it is to hang a lake? But that was my favourite one. Actually, that was my favourite one, but the one that remembered was it featured 2 Cockney children. Unnamed Cockney girl child and Jimmy! All right? Now, what happened is they were outside playing with a frisbee. It was fucking what we had before the internet. It was mad. Throwing it back and forth. It's like a disc. It's a disc. You're an idiot. Throwing it about. But then Jimmy, at one point, just threw it way too hard. And it went sailing over Cockney girl's child's head and landed twixt the pylons of an active electricity substation. And she's like, oh no, Jimmy, what have you done? We'll never get it back now. And Jimmy's like, I'm not afraid, I'm a great climber. I'll reach it with this bit of discarded barbed wire that's covered in rust. Tetanus be jammed. Clamber it up like a bowl-cutted Spider-Man. He'll just reach up and then... Of course, he touches the poles, and there's a bang, and he sails backwards, hit the ground, carbonised. She screams out, going, Jimmy! All of a sudden, Oxbow Lake, she's drowned. 2 children dead in the field like a fucking loser. And this was the 1970s. There was no such thing as CGI. They killed those children. Their manager was off to the side lying to them. You're going to be the next Keith Chegwin kid.